This danger here is, and I reiterate what my colleague said, is panicking. This is going to go on. We're probably not going to see a peak, from what I've heard, until somewhere later in February. So that means between this time and that, people are, their fears are going to run away with them. I think she's from the professionals of the WHO, but also from
that's been quarantined, and he said there's no sense of panic. People are going about their daily lives. They go shopping. There's no scramble for food or anything like that. Does that surprise you?
It's really good that people are behaving in a way that is not causing that public panic, because to get an overreaction can result in serious losses. We saw with SARS in the early 2000s, it cost upwards of $50 billion. And so there are some real consequences to these viruses getting out there because of the ripple effects that it has through society, that it has to the economy. So there needs to be appropriate measured response. And if we can result in 60 million people being cut off for the time being that is necessary to get this infectious disease under control, then that's what we need to do. But that's a very reactive stance to take. Ultimately, what we need to focus our attention on is proactively managing this risk and to be more preventative, because the ripple effects, again, as the trends increase towards increased urbanization, that transportation, people are closer connected than ever in densely populated areas. We need to stop an outbreak like this from ever even happening, rather than deal with containing it like we're seeing.
Right, on the question of being proactive, of course, we live in a very closely interconnected world right now. I mean, every minute there are hundreds of millions of people on the move all the time, and these numbers are escalating. How does one get proactive about this?
Right, and in addition to transportation globally increasing, you also have an increasing population, and you have increasing demand for animal proteins. And so how do you begin to feed, let's say, 9.8 billion people on the planet by 2050? There's going to be an increased demand that is going to travel then ever more quickly throughout the globe. So we need to think about these trends and how we are going to manage masses of people who, rightly so, want access to the things that those who preceded them, as they've gained wealth and they've gained stature globally, have wanted. So it's really critical to recognize human behaviors, especially when they interact with animals, for either food consumption or for wildlife trade, to really nip it in the bud there. So if we can educate and improve human interactions with animals and recognize that this is a whole picture to take of human-animal interaction and the environment, and protect the habitats and recognize that habitats are changing because of the changing climate, then we'll be able to get on top of it and be more proactive.